Hello guys, how are you?
I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome back to your own YouTube channel. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test, and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys participate in everyday listening and reading practice test to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Press the bell icon for the upcoming notifications. Don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams.
Part 1.
You will hear a student union representative talking to some new students. First, you will have some time to look at questions 1 to 7.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Borchester University. If you'd like to split into small groups of about 10, a guide will take you around the campus. The first thing they'll show you is the most important, where to get food. Okay, please divide into smaller groups now. The guides are here on the left.
Right, 9, 10, that's about right. Okay, let's start. As the coordinator said, we'll look at where to eat on campus first. The principal place to buy food is here, the main refectory. As you can see, this is large. It holds about 500 people, so it's very busy. What can you buy here? They always have a good choice. Usual choices are vegetarian, fish, pasta and salad, as well as a main choice menu, including the budget choice. Sometimes they do special menus for a week. Last week it was Chinese food. I remember they had some wonderful choices. Of course, to get the best choice, you need to get here early. The main hall is open from 11:30 to 2:30, but by about 2 the choices are rather reduced. Unless you like chips and pies, that is. The budget menu is always available. What's the cost here? Well, it varies from about £1.50 for the budget meal to £3. It sounds expensive, but if you eat here, you probably won't want to eat so much in the evening as the portions are huge. Okay, so much for the refectory. The next place to eat is the cafe near the Arts Building. That's here on the map. This is small, much smaller, with only space for about 50 people. It's also a shop, so it's very busy all day. It's open from 9 in the morning until 6 in the evening. What can you buy here? Well, really only tea, coffee, hot chocolate and sandwiches. The cost of a meal is about £1.15. One nice thing about here is that you can surf the internet while you eat, absolutely free, as long as you are a customer, of course. There are 6 computers for customers to use. Oh, I said there's a shop too. It sells all the usual things, chocolate, newspapers, sweets, cakes, and bottled drinks. It's very convenient. Another nice place to eat is the bar area in the theatre. Again, this is small, but there's more space than the cafe and no shop, so it tends to be less crowded. It's still quite busy, though, because it's very comfortable with nice chairs. It's open from 10 to 4. What can you get to eat here? Again, it's really only drinks like tea and coffee and toasted sandwiches. The toasted sandwiches here are better, since they also have a garnish, tomatoes and lettuce with them, but the average meal costs more, about £1.30. One problem is that they run out quickly here. You are not likely to find much to eat after about 1:30.
Before the talk continues, you have some time to read questions 8 to 10.
Well, that's the general information about where you can eat on campus. But you know, those places are not just for eating and drinking. The main refectory has a string quartet of music students playing every Thursday at lunchtime, and on Tuesdays and Fridays, the theatre bar offers lunchtime jazz concerts at 1 o'clock. They're always popular, and the bar fills up by noon, so make sure you get there early. Now, I can see some of you are smoking. This is only allowed in certain areas of the campus, and never in the library or eating places. Oh no, sorry, it is allowed in the main refectory, but only in a small section in the corner. There were suggestions that the theatre bar would be a smoking area, but this created quite a debate among students, so a final decision hasn't as yet been made. Thanks for your attention. Now your guide will take you on your tour.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
You will hear two students, Amanda and Barry, discussing the disposal of their household rubbish.
First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17.
We really had better sort this waste out. There's quite a lot of it now.
Yes, it's probably worthwhile taking this lot to the recycling centre now. There's at least a full carload.
Yes, but first we need to sort it all out. We won't be able to do that once we arrive there.
OK, so what do we do?
That's easy. We put each type into labelled boxes.
You mean sort them out into different materials?
Yes, that's right.
OK, it seems quite straightforward. What shall we start with? What about the glass?
Good idea. First, let's put all these bottles in.
Yes, but we shouldn't put that milk bottle in. That should go back to the milkman.
Yes, you're right. This is a returnable bottle too. It goes back to the local shop.
This broken mirror can go with the glass, can't it?
Yes, of course. But be careful of your fingers.
Oh, OK. What's next?
Paper, I think. We should tie up all those piles of old newspapers and magazines.
What about these yellow telephone books?
I think I remember reading that we shouldn't put those in when I last went there. We had better not. We'll put them in the general rubbish.
And these paperback books?
Oh, no, definitely not those. They should be put into the charity container. They can resell those for charity.
There are some old car batteries here. They look heavy. Let's lift them out here.
Be careful. Lift them carefully. Don't hurt your back. Bend your knees, not your back. And be careful you don't spill any acid. It will burn you.
It's a pity Britain doesn't have any system to collect these yet. They will just be dumped together with all the general rubbish.
That's terrible. Doesn't anyone do something with them?
Well, if we lived in Germany, Denmark or Sweden, we could recycle them. But not in the UK. At least, not yet.
There are bundles of old magazines and newspapers here too. I think we put these in the general rubbish.
No, there's a special container for paper. It's all recycled and they make other products like writing and kitchen paper with it.
Actually, I think you'll find they can't do that with magazines, as it's a different quality paper. They do go with the rest of the household refuse. Oh, look! Plastic bottles. Lots of them.
You now have some time to read questions 18 to 20.
Well, you know how much cola they had at the party. That's where most of it's from.
Well, all the soft drink bottles can be put together. What about the other plastics here?
Some things have a code. Yes, look here. These two are the same. We just need to look for the code on the plastic. That will tell us where we have to put the bottles.
Any bottle without a code? Well, we'll just have to check when we get there.
There won't be too many. Anyway, they do have a technician to offer advice when you get to the recycling centre.
OK, we've nearly finished. What about this bag of old clothes?
That's easy. The charities take those as they are, and they sort them out. Then they can sell the clothes which are still in a good condition, and they can make a lot of money out of them. The bad ones can be sold as rags. The paper industry takes those.
It's amazing what can be done with things we throw away.
If we don't try to recycle, then the future of the planet...
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
You will hear a conversation between Mrs. Davies and a lady she is interviewing called Gina. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 27. Now listen carefully to the talk and answer questions 21 to 27.
Mrs. Davis, hello. Can I see you for a moment? Gina. Hello. Hello, Mrs. Davis. It's about the job as assistant in the language department. I hope I'm not disturbing you.
No, of course not. I was rather thinking you were coming to see me with the others tomorrow. Didn't I make an appointment for you?
Yes, but I've got a bit of a problem. I have to go to London tomorrow to meet my father. He is coming over here for a business meeting. I wondered if we could rearrange it.
Yes, of course. Right. Now, I got your application form, haven't I? Yes, here we are. Gina Baracco. So, tomorrow's out. How about Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock?
Oh, that would be fine.
That's perfect. Actually, I'm glad you came in, because there were one or two things our personnel department wasn't sure about when they checked your application, and I can ask you about them now. How do you think you'd manage? I mean, your spoken English is pretty good. How do you think you'd manage the administrative side of things in English? I need to comment on the level of your English.
Well, actually, I'm not too worried about that kind of thing. Before I came here, I worked as a clerk in a bank for 2 summers. I'm not a qualified secretary or anything, but I'm fairly organized and I'm good at getting things done. I'm not so sure exactly how good my English is, but then I'll be teaching in Italian, won't I?
Yes. I think your English will be fine, and the department would always welcome a good administrator. Now, tell me about your academic commitments next year. You've applied for a place on the master's scheme, haven't you? How would you fit that in with your work for us?
Well, it's part-time over 2 years, so apart from the reading, which I can do at the weekend and in the evenings, it's about 4 class hours a week. Anyway, I don't know if I'll be accepted on it, although I feel quite excited. I had the interview last Monday with Dr. Marplot, and it went really well. He asked me exactly the questions I wanted.
That's good. Now, the post we're looking to fill is to teach Italian media. In Italian, of course. That involves reading and discussion classes mainly, although you'd be expected to help the undergraduates with their language as well. You can speak to the other assistants about how it works exactly. There is one in each language department. They're mainly Europeans, although I think we've got one Russian too.
You now have some time to look at questions 28 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the conversation and answer questions 28 to 30.
Can I ask something?
Of course.
Well, I think one of the biggest problems for me is going to be money. I get a tiny grant, as you know, and my parents are not rich. So I need to know how much I'd be paid.
Of course. Well, the pay is not great. It works out at £150 a week. But the good thing is, you wouldn't have to pay tax. Oh, and you'd be able to keep your college accommodation if you wanted to. That would be cheaper than living out.
Yes. Oh, that sounds fine.
Well, as you know, I've got to see the other 2 applicants tomorrow. Then it'll take a week or so to discuss everything with Dr. Santini, the head of Italian. I expect we'll know in a couple of weeks, okay? We'll let you all know then.
Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. Davis.
Not at all, Gina. Thank you.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
You will hear a talk by a college principal. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully to the talk and answer questions 31 to 40.
Well, perhaps I can start this evening by welcoming you all to the college. Some of you, of course, I know well already, but the parents are mostly unfamiliar to me. We are very proud to have you here tonight to present the awards for this year's students, but also to celebrate our centenary and to celebrate the achievements of the college over that time. Before we go on to the main business of tonight, the Achievement Awards, I should like to say a few words to remind you why this college has such a unique reputation in this country. Because it is well known for what it is, which is quite simply the best engineering institute in the United Kingdom. This is not just my opinion, which might well be biased. It is based on government figures which consistently show that year after year we provide the highest levels of education, engineering research and pastoral care in the UK. As most of you know, this is the college's centenary year, and it is important, I feel, to reflect on the origins of the college. 100 years ago, the traditional industries of this area, weaving, cutlery making, and agriculture, were in sharp decline, and when they went, in came that scourge of the past, unemployment and poverty. Our college was founded in order to provide for some of the poorest but brightest boys of the town and surrounding area a way out of the poverty of the time. It was an immediate success, thanks in no small part to the first generation of teaching staff, including Frank Harris, a future president of the Aeronautic Society, and Dr. Bart Halliday, whose name is surely known to you all as a Nobel Prize laureate and major contributor to the creation of the first atomic bomb. By 1917, the college was turning out 300 highly skilled, highly qualified graduate engineers a year. Former students at this time include Frederick Cantor, who became a researcher at the Atomic Research Station in Minnesota in America, and the painter Lucien Dewdley, R.A., who famously didn't complete his studies because of illness. After the end of hostilities in 1918, the college was formally attached to the Northern University in Colton, and has remained a part of that institution ever since. The achievements of the graduates and staff of the college in the years since then are too numerous to list here, but I must mention the invention of the Bell racing engine, which has been such a powerful force in automotive engineering. These days, the focus of our research has changed to keep pace with the changes in modern technology, and while many of you will know that we are particularly well known for our expertise in bridge-building technology, you may be surprised to hear that none of us has ever actually built a bridge in our lives. These days it is all done by computer models. So, when we worked on the changes of the Millennium Bridge over the Thames, which wobbled so badly, the first we saw of the bridge was when we walked on it after the completion of the changes. In the dozen or so years that I've been principal, that is probably one of my most fulfilling moments. To be able to undertake this work through theoretical modeling rather than trial and error is surely the goal of engineering research.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So guys, don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys, participate in everyday new IELTS listening and reading practice tests to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. For more IELTS material, visit my official website www.ieltsupdatesandrecentexams.com. The link is given below in the description. If you need PDF files of latest IELTS material, then please join my Telegram channel. So guys, please write your score below the comment section. Again, thanks for listening. God bless you all guys. Stay tuned, stay safe.